I saved a patient's life and the hospital fired me for it. I just started working at County Medical Center and it was my first time assisting on a complicated heart surgery. The lead surgeon was Dr. Vincent Harlow, who performed over 3,000 surgeries and was basically a legend. He'd been featured in medical journals and had patients flying in from other countries just to have him operate. When I arrived in the prep area that morning, Dr. Harlow walked in and immediately something felt wrong. He stumbled when he came through the door. His eyes were bloodshot and glassy. When he spoke to the surgical team, his words came out slurred and slow. Then he got close to me to review the patient chart and I smelled it. Alcohol. Strong and unmistakable on his breath. My stomach dropped. This man was about to cut into someone's chest. The patient was already in the next room being prepped for anesthesia. I pulled the head nurse aside and whispered urgently that something was very wrong with Dr. Harlow. She looked at me like I'd grown a second head. He's perfectly fine. He's been doing this longer than you've been alive. I insisted that he'd been drinking and absolutely should not be operating on anyone. She told me to shut my mouth and get back to work before I embarrassed myself. The anesthesiologist was already in the operating room putting the patient under. Dr. Harlow was at the scrub sink washing his hands. I watched him fumble with the surgical brush. I went straight to the surgical supervisor and told her we had a serious problem. She got angry immediately. Do you have any idea who you're talking about? Dr. Harlow has saved more lives than you'll ever touch in your entire career. Whatever you think you saw, you're wrong. Through the window, I could see the patient on the table now, completely unconscious and vulnerable. Dr. Harlow walked into the operating room and reached for a scalpel. His hand was visibly shaking. I tried one more time with the supervisor. Please, I'm begging you. Just smell his breath. Just look at his eyes. Something is seriously wrong. She told me if I said one more word about this, she'd have me removed from the hospital. I stood there frozen. Dr. Harlow was positioning the scalpel. Everyone in that room was just going to let this happen. I walked directly into that operating room and stepped in front of Dr. Harlow. I cannot and will not assist in this surgery, I said loudly enough that everyone heard me. Dr. Harlow is clearly intoxicated and should not be anywhere near this patient. The entire room went completely silent except for the sound of the monitors beeping. Dr. Harlow tried to push past me, but I didn't move. Someone needs to call in another surgeon immediately or I'm leaving this hospital right now and calling the state medical board myself. The supervisor finally told someone to page the backup surgeon. Dr. Harlow ripped off his gloves and threw them on the floor before storming out. Every single person in that room was staring at me with pure hatred. The replacement surgeon arrived 30 minutes later and successfully performed the procedure. The patient lived. I went home that night thinking I'd done the right thing and possibly saved someone's life. The next morning I got called into the hospital administrator's office. There were 4 people waiting, including the head of HR, the chief of surgery, and a lawyer. They told me I was being terminated effective immediately for insubordination and creating a dangerous disruption during a critical medical procedure. I tried to explain that Dr. Harlow had very obviously been drinking. The administrator slid a folder across the desk. Inside were written statements from 7 staff members who'd been there. Every statement said the same thing. Dr. Harlow had been completely sober and professional. They said I'd become hysterical and unstable for absolutely no reason and put a patient at risk with my behavior. These were people I'd worked alongside, people who'd seen exactly what I saw, and they were all lying to cover their own backs. The administrator leaned forward. We're also filing a formal complaint with the state medical board. You'll be extremely lucky if you keep your nursing license after this. I tried to argue, but the lawyer told me if I didn't leave voluntarily, they'd have security physically remove me. I cleaned out my locker while everyone pretended I didn't exist. 2 weeks later, I received a letter informing me my nursing license was under investigation. I applied to 15 different hospitals and got rejected by every single one. Then late one night, I got an anonymous text from a number I didn't recognize. I'm sorry about what happened to you. You deserve to know the truth. The message explained that Dr. Harlow had been drinking before surgeries for 6 years. Hospital administration knew the entire time. He brought in $15 million in annual revenue and had 3 board members who were personal friends. They'd been covering for him by carefully managing which staff worked his surgeries and having backup plans in case something went wrong, but I didn't know about their system. I exposed their massive liability by making it public, so they destroyed me to protect him and themselves. I took everything I had to the Federal Medical Board and the FBI. 6 months later, Dr. Harlow lost his medical license permanently, and 3 hospital administrators were criminally charged. My nursing license was fully reinstated, but I got a settlement that means I'll never have to work again if I don't want to. I hope someday I find out who sent me those texts because I have some settlement money I want to share.